You know that feeling when you have good content, but you still dread turning it into an Instagram carousel. And look, it's not because you don't know what to do. It's because it's actually a grind, right? You got to pick the right moments. You're rewriting the hooks. You're second guessing the order. And then suddenly you've spent 2 hours just trying to figure out 5 slides that are going to feel cohesive. I've hit that wall so many times and that I decided to actually standardize it, right? I don't want to do that every single week, every single day, anytime we got to create a carousel. And it's not with a checklist that you're going to forget, right? How many of you have those checklists that you have and then you're just going to forget? You don't even know what to do with it. We're going to actually build a workflow that you can run on repeat. So today we're building an Instagram video carousel workflow. We're going to do it live and we're going to do it end to end. We're going to take a long piece of content. We're going to turn it into a clean 5-slide carousel plus the caption that goes with it. And if we get time, we'll throw in an Instagram thumbnail. Here's the plan. First, I'm going to show you what done looks like first. Let's just go straight to the result. And then we'll build that process live all the way from scratch using a real video. And then we're going to convert that into a saved workflow or template that you could reuse every single week or every single time that you want to post a carousel. And then I'll share a couple rules, some tips so that your carousels can stay tight, they'll stay consistent, and they'll be easier to ship on a day-to-day basis. So let's jump right in. Let's talk about Instagram carousels. Sometimes there are 3 simple things. Okay. So this project that I've got right now, I've got Alphana open, and inside of Alphana, I started building a workflow, and I'm going to go ahead and we're going to build this from scratch again so you can see what that looks like. But what does it result? I take a long video like I've got here. This is an episode from one of our last Insider Live sessions. It was 38 minutes long, right? And on that long episode, I'm like, all right, well, we haven't actually posted an Instagram carousel or anything on Instagram about this episode that we dropped the other day. And so why not? Well, because we dread it sometimes, right? We don't have a workflow for it. We do the emails, we do this, we do that. There's so many other pieces of content, but Instagram just hasn't been one of the focus points. No excuses. We can dive in here. I've got the long episode. What do we do? First, we transcribe the episode. We got the entire transcript, so we have full context of what that is. All right, I close that there. Now, when I scroll down, here's what we've got. We've got an Instagram video carousel. We essentially pulled out 5 clips, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 individual clips that we can use to post into an Instagram carousel for people to engage with. On top of creating the clips that we needed, we also needed to generate thumbnails, right? What is the main featured image of this carousel? Now, there's different styles. You can insert your image. You can have a template if you want, but this came up with 4 unique styles of potential thumbnails that we can put as the cover for this Instagram carousel. And so you've got one that says build once, reuse weekly, turn one video into a system, template your week, and repeatable beats rebuild. Then it generated a caption to go along with my Instagram carousel. Because if you post it with no text and no context, there's nothing to really bring the person inside. And guess what? When you have a caption, it helps people to be able to stay on that post, and Instagram looks at that from an algorithm standpoint. So have something meaningful that people will want to read. And it always starts with a hook. And so you can see that in here. Stop rebuilding your content every week. Start building a simple workflow you can reuse. Core idea, if you do it more than once, it's a workflow. Save it as a template so you're not starting from zero every single time. This is all pulled from my episode. Okay, so what I just read you here, this intro, this hook to this caption, and it pulls in a couple bullet points. This was all derived from insights from the episode that I released on Insider Live on YouTube. We'll go into this in more depth, but we're going to build this workflow. So very simple. 3 things we're going to make here. We're going to take a long video. We're going to turn it into a Instagram video carousel. We're going to turn it into a Instagram carousel thumbnail so that we can put that as a cover. And then we're going to create the carousel caption. After that, if there's more that you'd like to create and add to this particular workflow, you could drop that as a comment and we can do it live. Let's jump right in. Inside of Alphana, you essentially can view all of your projects and all of your videos at once, and you have a whole selection of different templates and workflows that you can choose from. If you stay to the end, I'll show you how you can actually get this particular workflow that we're building so you can just access it in one click. You won't even have to make this from scratch. You'll just be able to click one button, upload your content, click generate, and you will be able to have access to this exact workflow with the prompts by the end of this session. First step, when you come to Alphana, you want to click on create. And when you click create, you're going to select a template or a project that you want to generate content from. Because I'm going to start from scratch, all I'm going to do is I'm going to type transcript. Okay. Now, again, these are templates that comprise of like multiple pieces of content you can create. But for now, I want to build this template. I'm going to do an empty transcript, an empty project, and then we're going to build it live. So I need to add a source video that I want to use to be able to do this from. So what I did before the session was I uploaded the video already. We uploaded on YouTube. It's actually our last episode. So I'm going to go to reuse from my library, and here it is. And so I've got this episode here at the top. Okay, stop the content treadmill, build a repeatable content system in Alphana. Okay, great. I'm going to click on create. Now that I've brought that in, I have my template. I'm going to select that one. I click next. Now the next step, if I'm going to create this project, it needs to know who we are writing for and what tone to take. I have it written in a conversational way. It's a 6th grade reading level so that it appeals to a wider audience. And then your target audience, I'll just put, let's say, marketers in this case. But remember, these are all text fields, okay? You can type whatever it is you want in here if you have a really long target audience. Like, my target audience are moms who like to shop for their kids and live in Miami, Florida. That could be your target audience. Go ahead and drop that in here. English, again, it doesn't matter what the source content language is. You can do it in almost in any language. And then here you can drop additional instructions like your do's and don'ts, words to avoid, the common misspellings. I sometimes like to put, and I have it in my custom instructions, how to spell Alphana because it always gets it wrong. Alphana is spelled with a PH. It's not spelled with an F. And in here, you'll see that it actually generates all the instructions that I put. And now I'll click next. All right, now when I get to this step, you have an option to edit the transcript before you generate. Now, I've already edited my transcript, so I'm going to skip it for now. But if you haven't, this is a great place so you can say, identify the speakers, especially if you have 2 or 3 or 4 different speakers inside of your video. It's better that you label them. If you label those speakers, you do it once. Now, every time you reuse that video to create other pieces of content, you'll never have to re-update those speaker names again. Again, workflows. Do things once. I don't want you doing the same thing over and over again, right? But I already did it. Great. So now I'm reusing my video. I'm going to go ahead and hit generate. All right. We will let that run. Let's see. All right. So here we have the project. All right. It's an empty project. Once this opens, you'll see here. Let me open this up a little bit more. It gives you next steps. Why? Because all we did was we generated a transcript. So now it's saying you can click transcript in the header, copy and paste it anywhere you want, or add content to be able to generate more content. So if I go up to the top right and I click on transcript, you're going to see here we have a full word by word transcript, okay? We pull every single detail, we format it very cleanly, we give you the timestamps, and not only that, but you can actually update every word by just double clicking and making any updates that you want in line with the transcript. And here you can see I had already my speaker name. Perfect. You can download SRT. Fantastic. Let's move on and now build the template. So what are we going to do first? I'm going to click add card. The first thing I want to do is I want to extract 5 great clips that I can use for a carousel swipe. Okay. If you guys are familiar with Instagram, even on TikTok or other platforms, you can upload a series of videos that you could just swipe on your phone. These perform really well. Actually, what's great about these Instagram carousels is that when you post a video on Instagram, sometimes it'll show different videos to different people to see which ones actually drive people to actually stay on your piece of content. So if I upload 5 individual videos into one carousel, it gives you 5 more chances to reach people on Instagram than if you were posting just one, because it'll cycle through the first frame and find the one that people will click on. And sometimes it shows the same post to the same person twice because it's showing 2 different clips from the carousel if it detected that it didn't actually engage with one of the videos in the carousel. So again, there's so many benefits to having it. So that's why now we want to go in and we want to create an Instagram carousel. So let's see what we got here. Now, to create our Instagram video carousel, I'm going to click at the top left, add card. Okay. Cards are individual pieces of content that you can create. They're like preset with styles, prompts, and everything. Really easy. So if I come in here now, I type Instagram video carousel. Here it is, already pre-saved. I'm going to click on this. So when you want to build a workflow, you can select from our entire library of AI cards to be able to do that for you, just like I did here. And right now, the platform is analyzing the transcript and it's going to start generating the content automatically. And you can see that you have an entire selection of AI cards to be able to choose from in order to generate content. Check it out. We pulled from the video. We added the AI card called Instagram Video Carousel. This is the first step in the workflow because we want to make sure that every single time that we want to put out a carousel, it's going to create it in this specific format. Now I've got my Instagram Video Carousel. Check this out. I've got, look at that right here, right? So I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 beautiful clips. All right. Here's what's great with the Instagram carousel. Okay. This is very important. Once you do this, remember, you want to fine tune the results to make sure it's giving you exactly what you want. Okay. This is the step to do this because you want to save this once we're done editing this. You want to save it once so that the next 100 videos or 10 videos or episodes that you upload to Alphana and you use this workflow, you want it to create it the exact same way every single time, okay? Again, we don't want to do the same work over and over again. So in this case, what am I going to do? One, I could take a quick look here and read what each individual clip is about, right? Down here, you can see the timestamps that it used. Not only that, but I can click play and I can preview what this part of the video is about, okay? Now, the preview is only for preview purposes. So if you use something like the AI auto crop or a specific crop like fill versus fit, it's not going to appear here in the preview. This is only for you to listen to it from an auditory standpoint, and even visually, you could see like what's happening on the screen to make sure that this clip is okay and what you're looking for, okay? You could do that for each and every individual clip, one by one, right? Make sure everything is the way that you want it. Now, if you somehow, after watching the 5 videos, you realize, hey, there's something that's happening consistently in the videos that if I change the prompt, maybe it'll give me different or a better result that I'm looking for, okay? If it doesn't come out the way you want it the first time, it's most likely because it's in the prompt. So if I click on edit, you're going to see that this was very selective in how we picked the clips, okay? We drafted this prompt in a very specific way. So I'm going to read you this prompt out loud so you can see why, and then we could see what happens if you make certain changes that you want it to happen every single time. So let's see here. Based on this video transcript or text context, please find 5 individual clips that clearly communicate the main benefits and key takeaways, and when relevant, show the subject or product being discussed in action. These clips will be used in an Instagram carousel with each clip posted as its own slide and viewed in sequence as people swipe. Now, if you guys have watched one of my previous episodes where I talked about prompt engineering, you got to give the AI context, okay? It has to understand. Part of the context is that, number one, you've got a video. You wanted to extract the benefits, but the context is that this is going to be posted as an Instagram carousel. So we want the AI to know that when it's trying to find clips, it's finding clips for what might perform well for Instagram as a carousel versus a YouTube short, right? Then we're also giving it more context that each clip is going to be posted as its own individual slide and viewed in a sequence as people swipe. What does that mean? That literally means, okay, if we're going to post 5 videos, they're going to swipe them in order, meaning that ideally we want that each clip can lead into the next clip, okay? Now keep in mind, we are extracting clips of a video that was pre-made. Unless you recorded the video made so that it could perfectly fit for Instagram at every second for every point of the Instagram carousel, this is not going to be that kind of video. This is essentially going to act as a carousel that provides you like 5 short bangers from your long video to serve as a teaser, because the whole point of why I want to post this is, one, they're going to get value by watching the individual clips very short, but it's not enough for them to be like, wow, okay, I don't want to watch the whole video. This is going to serve as a teaser because you want to actually drive people with these short clips to your long form content, right? That's what the point of this is. So it's okay that each video may not end perfectly and start the next video perfectly to align with each other, because the whole point of this is to tease them with 5 individual clips that are providing value that now make them so intrigued that they want to actually click the link in your bio, or they want to drop a comment in order for them to go watch the full episode and get a link to that piece of content, right? And then if you see how we break it down, we got general requirements. So order the clips so they flow naturally as a carousel from slide 1 to 5. Each clip has to start immediately with a strong, clear sentence or hook with no fluff before each point. Each clip should be 30 seconds or less, but ideally 12 to 25 seconds. And guys, this is an Instagram trick. You want your videos to be anywhere between 12 to 25 seconds. That's the ideal amount to maximize the watch time per clip. So that's why we have that instructions in here. Each clip should stand on its own, but also build momentum for the next slide. Perfect. Now, what are some content type requirements? Because this prompt can work for different types of videos. So what did we do? I drafted this prompt to say, okay, if this is a product demo, prioritize moments that show what it does, how it works, and the outcome. If this is an interview, Prioritize the strongest answers, contrarian insights, or memorable lines. Avoid the long setup questions, tangents, or off-topic sections. Guys, that part is so important. You don't want to put that stuff into your short videos. If this is educational or how-to content, prioritize clear steps, frameworks, or actionable tips. So we want to avoid the intros, the background stories, long definitions, unless they're essential. If this is a story or a case study, prioritize moments that follow a clean arc, like context, challenge, turning point, result, and lesson. Again, since this will be an Instagram carousel, people will be swiping through each clip back to back, so keep the pacing tight and the progression obvious. Guys, go ahead and drop in the chat how many of you are writing your prompts like this, okay? Super detailed. That's super important, okay? Now, if we want to customize this and you know what your content is every single week, let's say you never do a product demo. All you got to do is delete that. And let's say it's always an interview. Perfect. So it's never an educational how-to. You could delete that, right? You could elaborate on what your content is always about. You can delete what's unnecessary. But again, this will work either way. The AI is usually pretty good at detecting it. If you're like, hey, Sebastian, I don't like posting 5 clips for my Instagram video carousel. I only like to do 3. That's okay. You can edit the prompt right here. You could post 3 individual clips and it'll find those clips for you. Or you could do 10 clips if you really want to post 10 individual clips. Okay. Modify these prompts to make them yours and personalize that fit with your content. We try to provide you with a baseline. So now I've got this prompt. I edited it. You can do all that stuff. Fantastic. Okay. What is the one thing that I do want to do? I caught that right now it's doing my videos landscape. You could post the video on Instagram that way, but what will work best for this carousel is actually not landscape. It's square. So I'm going to change this to square. I don't want to do this every single time. So I want to save this as part of my workflow to make sure that these carousels come out in a square format. Now, because I know that my video is a demo, I'm sharing my screen, I don't want to use auto. I actually want to fit. I want to fit my entire landscape video within the square. This is on purpose because I want people to be able to see the demo. Auto works really well only when you have speakers in your video. So it's trying to detect the speakers. But if you're showing content like on a screen, you want to be able to use fit so that it fits the entire content inside of the video, but it will produce a final result with a square. Now, what's good about this is that it'll create the black boxes above and below the video, because what happens is on Instagram you could actually put an on-screen text on top in the black area that'll help drive people to know what's going on your video. So it serves as a dual purpose. I click fit, I'm using square, I'm going to enable captions. I'm just going to go ahead and hit generate. Okay, this is important. You want to generate it so it gets you the result in a good way. Because I didn't change the prompt, it kept all of my clips the same, but it changed the format now to a square format. Now remember, the fit and fill options are only going to happen once I export and I download these videos. So I can come here, I can select all 5 clips, I can click download. You can see now I'm going to use my clip settings because they're set to fit, set to square. I've got my background, I'll just leave it black, keep it clean, and I'm going to hit download. All right, now my video with the captions are being generated. I'll get an email, it'll download once it's ready. That is the first part of the workflow. Are we ready to move on to the second one, or do we got a couple questions in the chat? Let me see. Building theme workflows is clutch. I edit the built-in prompts and save as new. I have built a few from scratch, one to generate ebooks. I love it. That's such a great thing. Yes, remember, you don't have to use our cards. You can come into Alphana, click add card, and you could create your own. And then you could produce your own really long prompt to generate any type of piece of content that you're looking for. If you're trying to do text content, you can use the create your own card. Right? This one right here. This is for text. If you want to create a specific type of video card, you would use clips from timestamps. In there, you could put any prompt to find any clips, just like how I described my Instagram video carousel. And if you're looking to generate images, you would use the AI images card. So these 3 are essentially for you to be able to generate cards 100% from scratch. Now that we got my video carousel, what I'd like to do is let's create a caption, okay, to go along with this post. We have 2 Instagram captions. The one that you're going to want to pull, the newest one, is Instagram carousel caption, okay? I'm going to go ahead and select that. Now what it's doing, analyzing my video transcript, it's analyzing the context, and from there it's going to draft a caption that is meant to perform well on Instagram. Let's see the result. Beautiful, look at that, live and in real time. So now we've got 2 things. We've got our Instagram video carousel We've got our Instagram carousel caption to go along with this post. Beautiful. Now let's read it. Let's see what it came up with. And you guys tell me, drop in the comments. Do you like how the caption's written? Do you have feedback? Would you like it a little bit different? I'm going to go ahead and jump in. All right. The Instagram carousel caption goes like this. Stop treating content like tasks. Start running it like operations. Here's the simple shift. Build one reusable system that turns any video into the same set of outputs every single week. Fast, consistent, and in your voice. So how to set it up? You list your weekly outputs. For example, 1 LinkedIn post, 10 shorts, a blog, and 1 to 2 images. Add custom instructions like the audience, the tone, the reading level, brand words to use, to avoid, the correct spellings. Then you can edit the transcript once to be able to fix like names, the typos, or speaker labels to boost accuracy. Write prompts for each asset with the structure, length, hooks, emoji rules, and hashtags. For visuals, add reference images and hex colors. Choose the right sizes like square, vertical, or landscape. Generate, review, tweak the prompts until it sounds like you, not generic AI. Save the whole thing as a template so that next week it's drag and drop. So, some of the common pitfalls to avoid: rebuilding the process from zero every time, chasing more tools instead of designing one clear workflow, letting speed replace structure and quality. These insights come from the full episode on building a repeatable content system. Comment video and I'll send you the full episode. So what do you think of that caption for Instagram? And by the way, this could be a good script too. I might as well just clip this as a video and put that out, right? But you see, this has a couple things as part of structure that works well for Instagram Carousel, right? If I'm going to post a series of 5 videos on Instagram Carousel, you need a caption that kind of sums up what's going on in those videos and the longer form video. Because if this intrigues someone, they're like, wow, I want to do this. I want to learn how to do this. Drop a comment that says video and I'll send you the full episode. You can change that call to action if you want, but that's a great way to get people to comment on it. And then anytime that somebody comments, go ahead and drop them a DM with the URL to your piece on YouTube, Spotify, or wherever it is that you put out your videos, right? So now that we've got our Instagram caption, it's really important that you personalize it before you go on to the next step. So if I come in here and I click on edit, we provide the full prompt for how we wrote this particular Instagram caption. And you could see that here, right? You could scroll down. Now you could see, based on the video transcript or text context, write an Instagram caption that feels primarily educational, not promotional. You do not know which 5 specific clips were selected, so the caption must work no matter which moments were chosen. Don't reference slide 1, specific timestamps, or any exact scenes, okay? This is super important. Again, we're feeding the AI context before it starts drafting a caption for you. And again, the other key thing is you don't want all your posts on Instagram or on X or anywhere to sound promotional, okay? It shouldn't be. You want to educate them. So we wanted to make sure the post actually gave them insights and education, and it wasn't a, hey, you should go check out my platform and use it for all your stuff today. No, educate them. What is a reusable system? How does it work? What should you reuse? What are some things you can tailor? You can actually do this anywhere you want. It'll be more manual, but you would learn something from this even if you didn't use Alphana, okay? And that's okay. If I educated you and you learned something, great. If you end up using Alphana because of it, that's even better. Fantastic. But my number one priority is making sure that we help you to be able to learn on how to systemize a lot of what you do on a day-to-day basis, okay? Then we put in requirements, right? Write in a clear, natural Instagram style, short lines, easy to skim. Start with a strong hook in the first 1 to 2 lines. We got that, right? How to stop, right? We got that right here. Strong hook. Here's a simple shift. Beautiful. Deliver the value up front. Explain the core idea, the framework, or steps from the video as if you're teaching it in the caption. Include 4 to 7 actionable bullets or micro steps like what to do, what to avoid, how to set it up, that are broadly consistent with most clips that would be pulled from the transcript. Avoid hype words, salesy phrasing, or watch the video language until the very end. Only the final 2 lines mention that the insights come from a full episode. Then you can add a comment-based CTA, and for the CTA, we put comment video and I'll send you the full episode. So this is a framework that you could use. Guess what? You can change what that CTA should be. You can change when you want them to reference the video. You can come in here and change how you want things to be phrased, what kind of insights to pull, and you can elaborate on this prompt before you do it. Once you make your edits, you can click generate, close this. Now you've got 2 individual pieces of content that can be used on a repeatable basis. And again, I'm going to personalize this, my video carousel. Maybe I move that up So all I'm doing is I'm dragging this up so that I can see it sequential. I want my Instagram video carousel beautiful. Here I've got my Instagram carousel caption. Final step. Now we've got our video carousel. We've got our Instagram caption. Perfect. Now for Instagram, we want to generate thumbnail images, okay? Come up with a couple options that we can put as the front facing of the carousel. In here now, we could see the full prompt before we generate it, okay? This is important for images, okay? With images, right, you don't want to waste what you're generating. So when you click on this, if you do it the first time, go ahead and read through it. See if anything in here doesn't sound like what you want it, okay? Now what's great is you're going to see the result of this right now. So we've got our long prompt, beautiful. It's going to create high quality, square, and 4 images, okay? Now, notice that I'm creating square images for these thumbnails. This is very important, okay? Why? Because on Instagram, in this case, because we're posting a carousel and each of the videos are square format, then we want the thumbnail to also be in a square format. Now, if you were going to create an Instagram reel, an individual post, a reel that could be posted on Instagram into the feed, then you could select and change it from square to portrait, right? Or vertical. That way it can create the long Instagram thumbnail, okay? You could create both kinds of options inside of here. But again, because I'm doing this carousel post and because my videos are square in this format, we want the carousel options to be, the thumbnail to be in square. So we'll just give that a second so it can generate. We now have 4 Instagram carousel thumbnail options that we can use to be able to post. Look at that. All right. Let's take it out. What did it do? Let's just look at the results. All right, we got 1, 2, 3, 4 options. I'll click on each one. When you click on the image, you'll get a nice full screen version of it. Now, here is what's great as part of this workflow, okay? You don't have to create the prompt for each individual image, okay? In Alphana, we automatically analyze the video. We automatically generate brand new prompts. Look at this. Brand new prompt that's completely based on your video transcript, okay? So every video you upload, this will be different, and it'll design what a potential thumbnail would look like for that particular post. And it's very detail oriented. So if there's something that you want to change, you could actually copy this prompt and then go back into Alphana, make the modifications you want so you can fine tune this particular image, right? So here's one, okay? Build one, ship weekly, and look how it's got. It looks summary, shorts, LinkedIn, blog, images. It puts them all here. That's beautiful. Look at that. Next one up, turn content into a system. All right. And look at the system. It has like these connecting modular blocks, right? Workflow, prompts, clips. Like this kind of sums up Alphana in one shot, right? If you're turning content into a system with these little modular blocks. Next up, this is getting off the treadmill. I think it's because something in the video I talked about the content treadmill, right? But you can see, look, it beautifully laid out a week planner, put, you know, little magnets kind of things like record, upload, clip, post, repurpose. I mean, look how clean this design looks like, right? From tasks to operations, this was something that we talk about. And look at this, it's got the little metal toggle switch. You can toggle from manual to system. This is exactly what we're trying to do, okay? Think of it from an operational standpoint. If you were to standardize your SOPs or your standard operating procedures of what's going to happen for Instagram or for X or for Blue Sky or LinkedIn or any other platform or medium, you could standardize them into a particular workflow, right? And then, so great. Now I've got 4 particular images, okay? Now, carousels can look different, right? You could always make changes to this, right? Let's say if I wanted to create a carousel, I can come in here and see why this is happening, right? And you could see, based on the video transcript, design a square Instagram carousel cover thumbnail inspired by the material's core concept, emotion, and visual direction. The cover should feel premium, scroll stopping while staying generic enough to pair with a variety of clips, okay? Now, the style direction, okay? If you want a completely different style, like, hey, maybe I want it to look anime. Maybe I want it to look like, paper, right? Like paper drawings. You could change all of that, right? But in here, in this particular one, we say use a photorealistic style that looks like a real world photograph. Focus on a meaningful object, location, or symbolic detail that visually represents the content. Avoid including people entirely unless the input specifically describes a scene with them. Now, this is important, all right, everyone? If you want to create content and have a person in it, you can. right? You could just delete that line and it'll automatically create a person. Or you can drag and drop a reference image in here and it'll try to bring in that person into the image, okay? Now for right now, because of copyright and for name and likeness issues, it won't create the person 100% match, but it could be in the style of that person, or it works great if you're creating a character or a sketch, it'll look like the person, right? You could do that in here as well. Then we have in here, use brand colors and style in the custom instructions if provided. Otherwise, choose tones that fit the content's mood, like warm, moody, high contrast, and clean. I didn't put any colors in here, okay? So it's going to just, it came up with something a little bit more clean and generic that could be used, that can apply across different places. Then we give it core instructions, okay? These prompts are very detailed, guys, all right? And gals, I want you to take a look at this, right? Capture the core themes, mood, and standout ideas in a single compelling image. Add a short, well-integrated headline that can work no matter which clips were selected, right? Do not reference specific scenes, quotes, or slide-by-slide content. Use different headline options across variations. Each variation should have a different headline. Choose a font that matches the visual style, okay? Avoid the generic default mismatched fonts. Keep the text readable but not overpowering. Place the text primarily in the lower third to leave clear negative space. Guys, this is to make it clean. You can change this. Maybe you don't want it to be in the lower third. Maybe you want it to be in the top half. That's totally fine. Leave a safe margin all around the text. Beautiful, because we don't want it to get cropped off. Don't put generic specific human faces. Ensure strong composition, right? Clear visual hierarchy and a professional polish. This should look release ready for Instagram. That is my very well thought out, detailed prompt that we used to make these Instagram carousel images. So now we've got a workflow, okay? I've got my carousel thumbnails. I've got my Instagram video carousel, and I have my Instagram carousel caption. And what's great is that these thumbnails, either one, will work as a post, and we can use any one of them. By the way, if you're on YouTube, I always forget to say this. I'll probably say it again later, but please subscribe. If you're not subscribed, I know a lot of people who may not have been subscribed yet. Click like, drop a comment. We always love to hear from you, so please just don't forget. That helps us out a ton. But yeah, go ahead, drop a comment, any questions, any other prompts, anything you want to see. All right, now that we have created our workflow, I told you at the beginning, I'm going to give this to you. You don't have to make this entire workflow by yourself. We have it for you. I've got your back. So what am I going to do? Now that we've got Instagram video carousel, Instagram carousel caption, Instagram carousel thumbnails, we've got our workflow. I'm going to call this a Instagram carousel toolkit. How's that? All right. Actually, this is a video carousel, so let's just be specific. It's an Instagram video carousel toolkit, okay? Because again, we have other pieces of content. We can generate image carousels, but in this case, we are doing video carousels, all right? We want higher engagement. Beautiful. Now, what am I going to do? I'm going to come here and I'm going to click Save as Template, okay? This is super important. Once you create a workflow inside of Alphana, okay, you come over here, you click the three-dot menu, and then you click Save as Template. When you save it as a template, it's going to save all of the content cards that you created, edited, fine-tuned, and personalized into a template so that now you could just click one template to generate everything all at once. So I'm going to call this the Instagram Video Carousel Toolkit. Okay. Now this is because I'm doing it generic, but let's say if this was my personal one and I didn't want anybody to have it, I could say Sebastian's personal Instagram workflow, right? All of that is a possibility. For the description, let's see, what do we say? Turn your video into a Instagram video carousel with captions and thumbnails. Okay. I'm going to tag this Instagram for the category. So now I've got my template. I've got my description, and I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to publish this, okay? Now, when I hit Save Template, perfect. So now, if you log into Alphana or if you sign up to Alphana today, you can go back to Projects. Now up here, you can click on Create. When you click on Create, if I scroll down, you're going to see, I scroll down, perfect. You're going to see a featured template that says Instagram Video Carousel Toolkit. Now I can just click this. It shows me Instagram carousel thumbnails, Instagram carousel caption, and a video carousel. So I'm going to select that template. And just to show you what it does really quickly, I'm going to pick another video from my library. I'll just go ahead and grab, let's say this one. All I did was I clicked the video, click next, selected the template. Check this out. Now you see this workflow. 3 different pieces of content are being generated all at once. It's finding the best clips from the video to post as a carousel. It's generating a Instagram carousel caption, and it's working and designing Instagram carousel thumbnails that I could use to post on Instagram. All of that happened all from this session. So you don't have to do this work. Once you do it once and you rerun this, literally within minutes, you will now have your entire workflow done. And all you have to do is download the videos that it found for you, copy the transcript, and put it into Instagram, and we're done. You see? So all that is generating all at once. So if I came into Instagram, literally my workflow would be click create. I'm going to go ahead and do a post. So here I've got 5 clips that I pulled. I'm just going to select all 5 clips. You guys can see that there. They're already named. They've got the timestamps in them. They're in order. Beautiful. And that's all. You upload that directly into Instagram. This lets you preview. It's got my captions. Now down here, what you can do is you can actually reorder the carousel slides if you want to. I don't need to. So I could select a cover photo, but remember, I'm going to actually upload one. Let's go to my thumbnails. I'm just going to pick one. We'll take turned content into a system. I'm going to go ahead and grab that. Let me throw it into the folder so you guys could see it. So if I go to Instagram, I can come here and select from my computer what I want. Now I've got my featured thumbnail, click next. And now here you see it. I've got my carousel. It's got my first video in here. Here's my second one, third, fourth, and fifth. High level. Look at that. I've got my caption. It's posted. And it appears here in my Instagram feed. And then you'll see the project that I created with a different video. Look at the results. It created and pulled 5 different clips. It got a brand new caption in the format the way that we wanted it, and 4 unique thumbnail images. And you can see what these thumbnails look like. So again, if you made it this far, please go ahead, subscribe to our YouTube channel. Please, it really helps us. The algorithm really loves it. We want this to show to more people. Subscribe. Click like and drop a comment. When you subscribe, you'll be the first to get notified every time that we put out a replay or we come out with a live stream so that you can hear it here first. That's pretty much a wrap for our Insider Live this week. Thank you all so much for your time. I'm Sebastian Moore and I'm the CEO and co-founder of Alphana. So if there's anything you ever need at all, please don't ever hesitate to reach out. I love you all. Thank you so much for joining us, and I'll see you all next time. Bye-bye.